Hey everyone, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel, and this is your daily Uncut news. As you guys probably know by now, Meta, Facebook had a horrible earnings report. Basically, they said, hey everybody, we're not making money like we used to. We're starting to slow down, and any profits that we got, we're gonna be investing in this metaverse thing. And yeah, it's guys, I don't know. I mean, so I'm okay with investing in the future. I'm fine with that. But going into recession, it just seems like pretty excessive. A lot of the employees have been complaining that Mark's been going a little bit crazy. There was a rumor before that he actually was swinging a samurai sword at people. So, you know, we'll see. You know, it's up to you guys. I know some people are like, hey, I'm all in on Meta. I believe in Mark. That's up to you. It's a real risk because like we're at the same price the stock was like 10 years ago. It's unreal. Went up down like 25% yesterday. The railroad still might actually go on strike. I have it right here. It is the Brotherhood of Railroad signalmen voted down a national tentative agreement. 60% of them voted no. And this is actually a really serious thing because it affects supply chains. It affects the food supply. Essentially, we rely on railroads as part of our infrastructure. And the things that the railroad workers want, they want more pay, and they want better working conditions. We've talked about this before, how essentially they feel like they're being overworked, feel like they're working way too long of hours, and feel like, you know, say operating a railroad, they're only working, you know, say by themselves where they don't really get breaks and stuff, and they want essentially a second person to help them out. And one of the things that I think is really important is, you know, safety concerns, which I do understand how these people feel. So I believe there are two of the unions have voted no on the deal, and we still might have a strike. So do keep an eye on that. McDonald's report today, I believe early in the morning, probably after I record this, but McDonald's is one of these sort of stalwart stocks that you always want to watch. It's a defensive stock. I keep wondering if it's going to be McDonald's or Chipotle, which is going to be the leader in food. We'll see. Also news, kind of a fun one. Well, actually not that fun for people involved, but Kanye West in LA actually just showed up at Skechers and is like, yo, give me a contract. I lost my deal with Adidas. Can you help me out here? And it's really funny. Basically, Skechers released a statement and said that we did not invite Kanye. Kanye came in unannounced, and basically had to kick him out. So, true story. This is a quote from Skechers. They released a statement regarding Kanye West barging their office, and this is what they wrote. They said, Kanye West, also referred as Ye, arrived unannounced without invitation at one of our Skechers corporate offices in Los Angeles. Considering Ye was engaged in unauthorized filmmaking, so I guess he was like filming something at the Skechers office, two Skechers executives escorted him and his party from the building after a brief conversation. Skechers is not considering and has no intention of working with West. We condemn his recent divisive remarks and do not tolerate anti-Semitism or any other form of hate speech. The company would like to again stress that West showed up unannounced and uninvited to Skechers corporate. On the Adidas deal, he lost about $400 million in net worth. He used to be a billionaire and basically lost about half his net worth. And this shows you guys that you want to maintain a long career. Don't go crazy. Don't go blowing up all your stuff, kind of the way that Zuckerberg has or Elon Musk is, where some people, they get so like hubris and like big, you know, big in the head, and they kind of forget what got them there. And I'm just sharing with you guys is that it's kind of like an easy come, easy go. Protect and preserve your wealth. And we know this, we talked about this before. President Xi took power in China, and there's many Chinese people who are like, I'm not going to be so greedy anymore. I just want to preserve my wealth, get my money to Singapore, get my money out of the country, this kind of thing. So I emphasize with you, especially going into recession, preserve your wealth. Credit Suisse reported their earnings that was like negative $4.09 billion, which is absolutely unreal. And you know, one of the things that we've been watching this one is because everyone's worried is if they're going to go bankrupt. It is a real possibility. I think they're hiding things. Remember, it was a few weeks ago where the CEO had all the staff call people on a weekend and say, hey everyone, we're not going bankrupt, which that turned out to probably be a lie. We'll see. Not only are they down $4 billion, they're saying, hey everyone, we're going to be reorganizing our company to make it better and stronger. The thing is, like, there's so many executives leaving. I think it was like one of the execs that was head of their investment strategy is leaving, and they're trying to sell off assets. It is everyone for themselves with Credit Suisse. You guys probably know this too, is that Credit Suisse always has some kind of scandal, be it the Archegos scandal, be it some Russian mafia scandal, essentially. They always have blood money and mafia money from all over the world goes to there and tries to hide stuff. And The other thing is too as well, there's like that Forex, not Forex, foreign exchange scandal and tax evasion scandal, all these kind of things going on with Credit Suisse. So watch this today. I think it could be really scary for people who are in this thing, down 40% in the pre-market, and we'll see how it turns out. The European Central Bank may be doing a 75 point basis hike. This is something that we're watching with all of the central banks raising rates. And one of the things that you got to be watching for these kind of things is what's going to happen to the credit markets. So essentially, in order to get our modern economy keep going, people need to be borrowing money. It's always about borrowing money, always has been, always will be. That is how our system works. And essentially what's going on is a lot of central banks are doing quantitative tightening. They're taking money out of the system and perhaps burning money. And in fact, one of the big things that people aren't really talking about enough, and I'm just sharing with you guys, is the crash in the bond market is a real problem. And do keep an eye on that. The bond market is actually bigger than the stock market. Bonds are really selling off like crazy. You see the yields keep jumping up. They're above 4%. So one is bonds are selling off. There's not enough buyers. And two, if there are buyers, one of the things that makes it hard to be bullish on stocks, bonds are like over 4%. And this is like 3 months, 2 year, 10 year, it doesn't matter what you look at, they're all really skyrocketing. It's hard to stay bullish on stocks because stocks these days have like 20% downside risk and only 10% upside. That's my opinion on that. So we'll watch the bond market together. It is a major thing. It's bigger than the stock market. Putin is actually accusing Ukraine of having a bunch of Satanists. True story. That is the quote from Putin in Russia. They're saying, hey, Ukraine is going to do a dirty bomb on us, which is basically a biological weapon, radioactive weapon, that kind of thing that's going to hurt a lot of people. And they're accusing Ukraine of having a whole bunch of Satanists, and therefore they must attack back. It's pretty ridiculous. And this is kind of the world that we live in. I served in the United States Navy. I'm an American citizen. Yeah, I have complaints about the U.S. government. I have complaints about a lot of governments, but when it comes push comes to shove, I'll take the Western countries and the U.S. government over things that like Putin and Russia say. You just can't trust these people over there, and it's unfortunate. And I can't stress enough that the government and the people are not the same thing. Putin's saying all these things, and a lot of the Russians are running for the border, trying to get out because they don't want to fight a war and they don't want to have to go fight their neighbors. I mean, why should they? I hope this ends quickly. And the market is going to be feeling probably some more pain. When I talk to you guys about this stuff, it's all about managing your risk, right? So for example, Apple's going to be reporting today, and I've told you guys about this. They're really heavily in consumers, right? They need to make sure people keep buying their iPhones. I keep reading reports that companies are cutting iPhone production, and it just makes me wonder, like, okay, are they really going to sell more iPhones? In fact, their new iPhone 14, isn't really that much of an upgrade. So I just don't think it's going to be that positive. As we've seen that Google, not so great. Microsoft, not so great. Meta, not so great. I don't expect a lot from Apple. And the same with Amazon, I don't expect a lot, but we'll see. That's why we have earnings reports. And one of the things that I really want to emphasize with you guys is that we talk about markets, so we talk about the news on this channel, we talk about a lot of things, but I want you to be aware that there's more to life than just money. I just made a I just made a video about Meet Kevin, and the reason why I mention that is, like, he made this other video again about his DUI thing, and it's like so ridiculous. And the reason why I mention this is because when we do the Daily Uncut News and we do the markets and stuff like that, I just want you to understand, guys, I do care about things, I do watch things, but as I'm showing you right now, my wife and I, we take a lot of time out of our day to get out to the beach, enjoy the weather, enjoy time with each other, because there's more to life than just money all the time. And that's something I really want to emphasize that you guys on the channel, I think you guys know from watching me and stuff. And because, like, just think of it this way, you could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have happiness, right? I mean, what do you have? And this is something that I think we all know deep down, but not everyone necessarily practices it all the time. And the other thing too, which I want to emphasize to you guys as well, is I can't stress enough, be very careful out there. I see people on CNBC and things like that, and a lot of these people are just marketing people. They're not that good at what they do. They're just marketing, and they're trying to sell you stuff. And it's the same on YouTube, that people out there are just trying to sell you scamming classes, that kind of stuff. So be careful on these things. I hope everything's going okay with you guys. One of the things I emphasize that during this period, focus on your job skills and focus on sort of your network and maintaining your career. The reason why I mention that is right now the markets are really, really shaky. Look at the bond market. Like, the yields right now are like 4.5, and it's hard to be bullish in stocks when you can just be getting bonds and getting like consistent returns. The other thing is too, the bond markets are selling off. This is essentially a product of, there are so many funds out there, pension funds, etc., that they've over leveraged themselves, and when rates shoot up higher than what they had projected, because right now rates just keep going up and up and up and up. Like for example, the European Central Bank may be raising rates by 75 basis points, and it throws everyone's math completely out of the calculations are all wrong. And so this is sort of why you see these crazy moves in the market. It's really volatile out there. And when I would say with talking about your job and your career, of focus on skills and stuff like that, because that's something you can control, right? Always be training to be valuable in this market. The workforce, your job skills is the same as a market, the same way that we watch the stock market, and you want to make sure that your value is always there. So that's your best way for success right now. Stay diversified, keep some cash. Don't count on stocks. You can't really count on them right now because there's not a lot of upside, in my opinion. I'm still bearish, and focus on your job skills. So this has been your daily Uncut News. I always appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you next video.